Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and then commodities and ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all of these sectors, into individual companies, and how I am playing this commodity bull market. You can see what I'm buying and what I am positioning in. We have a coupon code MAYDAY, MAYDAY, that is active if you would like to join. So let's dive in, let's take a look, and I'll share my opinions on what's going on today in the markets. So we got the DXY, and the DXY to me on a longer term basis looks pretty strong, and I think that looks like it will continue. We've got the characteristics that I look for in an upward move, large buying pressure candlesticks on a breakout of a falling wedge, which looks good to continue to the upside. So the DXY continuing to look strong and move on higher. A lot of the times that is being driven by a stronger yields backing the dollar versus other currencies. So right now the Japanese yen looks pretty weak and our rates and dollar look a little bit stronger than, say, the Japanese yen and some of these other currencies that the DXY gets compared against. So the 2-year yield still squeezing up in this wedge formation. A lot of the times, yields do track oil, and oil is an important commodity to watch because rates generally follow it. Oil is looking a little bit stronger, and I'm curious to see which direction this breaks for the 2-year yield. Either higher, which looks likely to me, or lower, which is still a possibility. And we could go a little bit lower in the short term before breaking to the upside. But this still looks like it's consolidating, and it does look like there's the possibility of this breaking to the upside if oil moves on higher. The 10-year yield's got the same type of positioning as does the 30-year. We are consolidating sideways, much similar to oil. TYX TNX ratio, we are still inverted and continue to be and stay inverted at this time. This gold circle is a good spot to buy gold and silver because that front runs any sort of liquidity coming back into the market and starts to generally go up when the yield curve inverts to a certain level, which is where this circle's at. Bond prices up a little bit on the 20-year. Are we going to get a break of this? If they do break to the upside, that means yields are going to go down, not up, from what I was talking about before. So kind of a mismatch in what I see in the charts on the 2-10 and 30-year yields versus what bond prices are trying to set up here. Because bond prices look good to try to move on higher on this 20-year bond ETF. So that is going against what I see on the 2-10 and potentially 30. Now, maybe, perhaps, that we have a short-term run down in yields, up in bond prices for a short period of time, and then it reverses and goes in the opposite direction. Tough to say, but we'll monitor it here together and see how that works. Gold up $15 an ounce. I think it looks really strong and looks ready to do a move higher. This is a complete retest. So I'm looking for a potential move up, sideways to up in gold. We've got silver down just slightly above this falling wedge. That looks bullish to me to continue higher. I don't see the big selling pressure weakness or a big reversal candlestick to push us all that much lower. Yeah, it can go lower, but I'm saying like a crash type lower back into the low 20s. I don't think that's a high possibility. And it looks to me like we are trying to turn here to either go sideways or higher. We've broken out of longer term patterns, which suggest higher prices. Platinum up a little bit, and that's still playing with this last form of resistance of this trend line. Really like to see this thing break above that. So we're kind of waiting for that break for platinum. Palladium up 6% today almost. We are starting to break, and hopefully there we go. We're starting to try to break some of these downtrend lines, and we are up against support. So this very well could try to put in a bottom here and start working its way on up, or at least move sideways at worst, I think. GDX is up 1%, breaking out of this falling wedge, and still looks good to try to continue higher. It's pretty well positioned to move on up, and we are above a lot of resistance, which means we have a little bit more free room to move higher if it likes to. GDXJ also up underneath longer term resistance levels. So we do have some resistance above us, and we are in a flag pattern trying to break out to the upside. SILJ down a little bit, still in a flag pattern as well, but that one has broken out of the pattern to the upside. And I do think further upside does exist along with silver, the metal itself. XAU to gold ratio, looking at the ratios, we have broken the big long-term downtrend line. We need to be bullish. This here is a generational opportunity, in my opinion, from where we're located and how cheap the gold and silver mining companies are in relationship to gold. Looks absolutely fantastic for those that want to try to buy bottoms and hold on for a long-term investment here. Looks absolutely excellent. Crude oil up 1.19%. This guy looks like we could get this thing fired up here. If this continues higher, we could be entering what's considered to be the third wave of a bull market. I'd really like to see a breakout, definitely above 83, but I'd like to see us clear 87 and make a new higher high. So I want higher highs and higher lows, get back into an uptrend. We are sitting on top of the previous consolidation zone here. So we have a long way to go, I think, to the upside if we get this break here. TTF gas also working its way on up. Looks very good. Nice bullish engulfing here today. Looks good to continue higher. Everything looks really good here. Natural gas in America also looking absolutely excellent. Bullish engulfing right on support. That also looks like it wants to go higher. So with higher crude oil, higher TTF gas, and higher natural gas for Henry Hub, one would suspect that the equities are going to start to move up. So XOP, our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, putting in a huge bullish engulfing. This is exactly what I look for a bullish confirmation, maybe not confirmation, but bullish initiation of a move. So it's a big bullish engulfing. We're right at this neckline of the inverted head and shoulders. We've got bigger buying pressure, smaller selling pressure right up against that neckline. This looks great for a move higher. Absolutely fantastic. OIH also participating up 3.3% today. Let me see if we got a little downtrend line break here, which we very well could. Of course, I botched the line there. And I'm having major problems with my pointer clicker here, so oh my goodness. I'm just gonna draw it in, guys. We're going free mode there. That downtrend line needs to be broken there, and I think we are trying to break that. Sorry for I'm on cardboard right now, but this is a falling wedge that we're breaking to the upside. Looks good, and we'll probably break it here any second. We've got Newcastle coal also squeezing on up. With natural gas and oil moving higher, I'm extremely bullish on coal, and I do think that this is bottoming here. It may be delayed a little bit behind it, but make no worries, I am very bullish on it. This is a big retest, a breakout of the consolidation, and then a retest, and I'm a big buyer in this retest zone for sure. We've got Sprott Physical Uranium Trust heading lower today. It's just been meandering sideways here, kind of in a directionless way. But we're down 2.14%. We are also seeing some weakness in some of the ETFs. URA continuing to get some selling pressure. We're seeing URNM getting some selling pressure, breaking through some support levels too. There could be further downside ahead of us, along with URNJ following suit down 2.5%, and there could be further downside breaking this support level and starting to put a little bit of distance between it. We are seeing weakness also in the technology stocks and sometimes uranium trades with the technology stocks and companies. URNJ versus URNM, it has definitely pulled back. We have not broken to the upside, and the juniors are underperforming URNM. Looking at copper, also pulling on back, and that does look a little bit weak, down 0.21%, and the momentum is still heading to the downside there. COPX not following that trend in copper. That's bucking the trend, working its way on up, and actually looks really strong. Weird to see the physical futures copper pricing versus COPX, the ETF, and the large disparity of performance between the two. We're seeing FEF, iron ore, working its way sideways, and this does look like a big accumulation cylinder going on, and I suspect eventually this will work its way on up. We have aluminum also slightly lower, down 0.6%. A little bit of momentum generated to the downside. We still could see further downside in aluminum in the short term. Nickel also heading a little bit lower. It's right on that support zone, and we'll see if we get support right where we're at. We've got MOO, which is the agribusiness ETF, looks really good here. This was one that I was very positive on, right in this general location, right on support, and we are getting a bounce here. I think this looks really good, and it's probably putting in a bottom in this general area here. Emerging markets, yields were, what were they, slightly lower, and same with the slightly lower dollar, so we're slightly higher in emerging markets. I think we need to see a sustained downward move in the DXY for emerging markets to really take off. We've got KRE, slightly lower yields. This does look like it's trying to put in some buying pressure here, so I expect this to work its way on up if yields continue lower. TAN down a little bit. That's still working its way lower. I'm not too sure what I would do with TAN here. I'm not a huge believer in solar and wind, so I'll just leave it at that. Lithium pulling on back, another one where it seems like ESG and some of these renewables are struggling at the moment, and we could see a full retest at $36 a share. REMX also pulling back. This looks pretty weak. I probably wouldn't be in it yet right now. I'd let the thing fall until it gets some support. Baltic Dry Index, looking good, working its way higher. I think we'll see further increases in the Baltic Dry Index. We got a nice little pattern going on here of a broadening structure. We've got XHB, which is home builders, also up, lower yields, higher home builder prices. I do think that this is a consolidation and will eventually break our way to the upside. And we'll build those underbuilt. We'll build the homes to get out of the underbuilt situation. So I'm still positive on home builders. Russell 2000 up a little bit. Kind of more towards the upper end here. But again, guys, I don't have anything in the Russell 2000. It looks like it's still consolidating, and I would think that this is going to consolidate further. S&P 500 down slightly, just 0.5%. We do have a bearish engulfing here. I would expect this to fall over time if yields do break higher and oil breaks to the upside. Same with the NASDAQ. I think this will continue lower in the short term, so long that yields go up. I know they were down right now, but we're seeing some weakness in technology stocks, and they are very overpriced. I just don't see the value in these, and so I don't chase them. But I do watch them. I do think this will eventually go sideways or lower over time. SMCI, it is selling off. To me, it looks pretty weak, down 8.74%. Is this a topping pattern? I wouldn't go that far yet. We still have to see weakness for me to claim that. NVIDIA is also selling off. This is definitely a bearish engulfing pattern, and we usually get pullbacks from those. This could be the ultimate top. It could be. I'm not saying it is. Could. And usually you get a sideways move, one last move higher, and then a big pullback. And we'll see if that is the ultimate peak in NVIDIA. Bitcoin also heading lower. Looks like it's losing some support, getting some stronger selling pressure. We'll see if there's follow through tomorrow on selling pressure there. And then Ethereum also getting some selling pressure. It's not super, super strong. We do have a wick at the bottom, which means we have some buying pressure coming in. And we'll see if that selling intensifies or keeps going tomorrow, is what I'll say there. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you like. But that's all I've got. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.